Good morning, everybody. Thought I'd show you the latest of what's going on in the build department. Got a new ship for Empyrion Galactic Survival. And see if you guys can recognize it. If not, don't worry. I think I've got the exterior like 90% done. Still got to get inside and build up the interior. I think the thruster housings came out really nice. Now this is a small vessel. And it's from the Star Wars universe, of course. But this is the Lancer class ship. They've shown just a few bits and pieces of these, mostly in some of the cartoons and stuff. They have shown some of them in the background in some of the movies, usually parked. Take it out of God mode here and walk you up inside. Let's see at least what I've got going on inside right now before I get the rest of the interior put in. But it's got a gravity generator. You got your core inside. You got a area for passengers to sit. You can get 4 of them in here. You got a room for your shield, pentaxa tank. You got your reactor. I haven't built a room for it yet. Some of your thrusters inside for strafing. And started working on the area for the shield. Not shield, the warp drive. I still need to get back behind it and place some blocks in there. Add a little extra protection back there because it gets kind of thin toward the outside. But then we go up to the cockpit. Got a little bit of an elevated pilot seat. This little rounded angled canopy. But when you sit down, you've got a very good range of view. See things in front of you, down low, and up high. Behind the cockpit, you got your ventilator. That'll ventilate the rest of this entire ship, unless we put another one in back here somewhere. Yeah, it's coming along pretty good so far. And yeah, I brought in the Falcon, so I have a good size reference. It's about the same width as a Falcon, maybe just a block wider not much. Height-wise, it's about the same height. But I think the look is coming along. Got landing gear on it last night. Gave it a little higher stance so you can walk underneath it. But let's do a little building here. I think before I get going too far, I need to fill in some of these spots behind the, it's a jump drive. I said warp drive earlier. It is a jump drive. It's a small vessel. Okay. I'm going to put some angle blocks back in this corner. I don't like to show straight, flat corners. All right. Four blocks tall, and SV 3 blocks tall is as tall as a person. So we've got just a little over our heads, so that'll work out just fine. And see, the door is 3 blocks tall. I'm going to try to keep it within the 4 blocks tall on the interior. It just feels right to have a little bit of space between your head and the ceiling. Now I did make it 3 blocks tall, and the little hallway headed up to the bridge or the pilot seat. Not sure what I'm going to do up in these little holes yet. I'll probably put a recessed light up in there in one of these little holes, little pockets, but we'll figure all that out a little bit later. Alright, so being the jump drive room, and I'm going to leave room for more thrusters if need be. I've also got to put in a room for the cores. It's just a reactor. I need to enclose that a little bit. Because if we change the material over to hardened steel, that'll give a little bit more protection for some of these items. Tell you what, I may pull that reactor forward a little bit. And that way I'm going to put a space in right here for another reactor. So if we need to updrive, update yeah, anyway. I just now got my coffee, guys. Bear with me. Get it? Bear. Anyway. We'll delete that one. And we're going to put some blocks in behind. Okay. I'll leave that alone for now. if I want to leave that open or not. To be or not to be. I think what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and put a ventilator back in here. Grab us a door, put in here. More of a solid door. Give you the idea that this is a door for anybody to access. That's something pretty important back in there, since you can't see in there. I don't know if I like having little feet down here on these pieces. It's more of a trip hazard. I'd hate to get OSHA involved. And I've got this door set up on the signal with landing gear, so when the ship lands, it opens up, the ramp extends, and shutter doors close or open up. So I guess I need to go ahead and grab a sensor. Yeah, just nowhere really off to the side to hide a sensor, so we'll put one up in here. Devices, interactive setup. Set up your signal logic. We're going to call this one the cockpit. And we'll go over to the door. We'll assign it to the cockpit door. When we get close to it, it'll open up. Thought I put a slot hole back in here somewhere, but oh, there's one, and that'll work. And I'll name this cockpit lights. need. Don't need that. Now, move it up a little bit. Well, I don't like having the sensor range right in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up here in front. We have the same name. I may put 2 different lights. Okay. Set this up for the door, and then I'll go back into the setup for this one, readjust the range, okay, come back out 1 block. Alright, that way, as we're walking up to the door and light both come on. As we transition from this area to the cockpit area, that light up ahead will come on. As we transition out of that range, that light and that door will turn off and close. So everything will work seamlessly as you go from room to room. And it helps conserve on your CPU and your power when your lights are off. Okay, I'm going to put a sensor above the door for the passengers. Set it up. Okay. Okay. And I think what I may do is use this to operate the light in here as well. Okay, that gives us our entranceway set up. Door and lighting going into the cockpit set up. Door and lighting going into your passenger area set up. Okay. 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 So we got those two rooms set up, the basics. and cockpit. Alright. I think next what I'll work on is getting some of the walls done up, trying to figure out if the warp drive will have its own room and the shield will have their own rooms. Well, I wish we had angled doors for SVs. All they give us is two sizes, but they're all straight. And we could do for an angled door, if we wanted an angled doorway, we use ramps. I threw all my ramps away. Okay. Yeah, it's a size I'd like to use, but there's nothing with the enough of an angle that I like. I'd like to have 45 degree, but no. Try that and see. Okay. Yeah, I'm just not sure yet how I want to do the transition. I like to kind of break things up on the interior a little bit. That gives a interesting shape up in the ceiling. And a little place for a light. Left a spot up in the ceiling hidden for the sensor. Do the signal and the device interactive setup. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it'll, there it goes. I didn't know if I need to reverse that or not. Alright, so that gives us our doorway into these two sections. And I'm going to enclose the warp drive, the jump drive. You know what? I'm going to put a window so you can look into the jump drive area. What kind of window should I use? the heavy windows or regular windows? I'm going to go with the heavy windows. They cost more to use, but we're going to try to go for the aesthetics of things. I think this build has enough angles on it. I'm going to put in some curved windows. Yeah, I think I'll leave it tinted. And have this in the main foyer when you walk in. That way you can see some lighting back in there, something going on. And I can probably put a LCD embedded in that window to really show off the electronics. There's something, stuff going on back in there. I'm going to try to keep it kind of symmetric in this area. Really, I need to bring this in a little bit. That's what's going off. Alright, try this again. I think I need to have the angle started here. And one more. Is that right? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, it's the same distance. Okay. Well, let's get these angle blocks put in up here. Get our ceiling kind of closed in there. I may put some kind of a decorative design and ceiling in this main entrance area. Just not sure yet. We'll leave it open, and we'll see what we come up with. Let's see. Don't necessarily need that. And I'm going to do something on the ceiling. I'll close that in. Leave that little space up in there, a little cubby hole. Might find some use for it. Okay. Now we need to put in some private rooms. Actually, one area I need to do is a main cargo hold. Back in here could be a... No, I think I'll save... Well... Crapola. Could just set this up just as your main cargo hold right in this area. And off from that I can have the... Right in this area I can have your med bay and your crafting station, and I don't know. I'll think about it. But we got a little bit of the interior done. We've kind of got a bit of a plan going on here. Trying to make everything easy accessible as you first walk in. Of course, we'll have storage containers set up, hidden inside the walls and along this side over here. But yeah, I think that's enough for today. We'll get busy working on this thing later and update everybody as I go along. Fun part's going to be texturing this little ship. In comments, let me know if there's any special design you'd like to have it painted up as. There's been a lot of different ones in the Star Wars verse. The ship's been used extensively. But yeah, just let me know and I'll kind of go off that and pick one of the good ideas. So as far as that goes, you guys have a great day and we'll talk to you later. Bye.